Tania. You can find me online as VolverVintage, and this is the final video to my European travel vacation series. I'm going to link the other two videos up above if you want to see them. I did the pack with me video, and then last week I showed you the footage from my actual travels. And today I just want to talk a little more in depth about the trip, where I purchased it because it was a group package. So it was semi-inclusive. It included like the flights, the travel, breakfast, and I just want to talk more about the experience, give you detail if you're interested in traveling abroad, if you've never traveled before. Yeah, just give you my little opinion, direct you to where I purchased the package, just show off a little of my souvenirs that I purchased. I didn't purchase a lot, to be honest. And yeah, how I am incorporating the cost into my reselling goals. My reselling videos will be back on Wednesday, back to business as per usual. I just want to clarify that this was a Spanish tour. The travel agency is a Spanish speaking travel agency, and all of the trips, the tours are completely in Spanish. So I'm gonna post the information, but I'm sure you can contact them and find tours in English if you're interested in only doing tours in English, or you could just Google it. I mean, it's not that hard. This tour company is specifically for Spanish speaking communities, just because obviously there is a language barrier, I feel like, for Spanish speaking communities. So I would highly recommend contacting them if this is your first time traveling abroad, or like if your parents who are older and don't speak English or just not like technologically savvy. I would 100% recommend getting them a group tour, because they're traveling in a group. They're traveling with other Spanish speakers. They have a tour guide, so they can't get lost. Pretty much they just have to show up to their flights, show up to the hotel lobby every day, and someone will be there to pick them up and take them with them. So that's where this company is more aimed to. But also, if you're just afraid to travel on your own, I would highly recommend doing a group tour. If you want to travel by yourself, if you've never traveled to Europe, I would highly recommend it. The only thing is that you do have to travel with a companion, so that's why it's mostly couples, or also like mother-daughters, father-sons that were traveling together. I was the third wheel, so I was able to share the room with my parents, because if you want to book your own room, they do charge you a fee. I think it's like $1,900 if they book you a solo room throughout the circuit. Which, I mean, I didn't want to pay it at the time, so I was more than willing to share the room with my parents, and for the most part it was pretty comfortable. I would say 50% of the time. There were a few rooms that were way too small, and then there was one room where it was legit a couch. It wasn't even like a roll-out bed or anything. It was legit just a couch. So it depends on what type of traveler you are, if you don't mind roughing it and sleeping on a couch. But if you're more on the fancy side, you want a luxury travel experience, then this might not be for you, because you are traveling by bus and you're doing a circuit. So you're traveling, you fly to your first city, which was, for us, was London. And then from London, you're traveling by bus to France. We traveled by bus to Germany. Like literally we were on a bus tour. It felt like, honestly, I liked it. I felt like I was a rock star on a bus, like waking up in a different city every day. But it just depends on what type of traveler you are. For the most part, the hotel rooms were really nice. I mean, they were like Hilton equivalent. There were one or two that were a little more motel quality, and we didn't mind them because we were just sleeping there for a night. We literally would check in at 6 p.m, just shower, sleep, and then we were checked out by 7 a.m. So it wasn't really a big deal for us. The only rooms that we stayed in for multiple nights were when we were in London, we were in France, and we were in Rome, and those rooms were pretty nice. Also Barcelona. The Barcelona room was really nice. So yeah, the total cost. So once I paid off my trip, the travel agency sent me like a little care package with this little travel pouch, which had all my documents. And then they also gifted us like this little carry-on tote bag, which did come in handy. They sent us the itinerary for our trip. Total trip was 17 days, 7 countries. The major visits were London, Paris, Frankfurt, Heidelberg, Lucerne, Zurich, Innsbruck, Venice, Florence, Rome, Pisa, and then we drove up the coast, the French Riviera. We stopped in Cannes. We spent a night in Cannes, and then Barcelona. Ended in Barcelona. So this included round trip airfare from LAX to London with a layover in Minnesota, and on the way back, a flight from Barcelona, layover in Paris, back to LAX. And it included all of the hotels and all of the transportation. So when we first arrived in London, there was somebody waiting for us there. They had like a little sign waiting for us to pick us up, and we met another couple that traveled also from LA. And this is where you start meeting your group. So the driver transferred us to our hotel, and then we had a letter waiting for us at reception that said, today's a free day. Feel free to rest, unwind. Breakfast is at 7 a.m. and then we will meet, your tour guide will pick you up at 8 a.m. to join the rest of the group. And then so the next morning we met more people from the group. There were people from Argentina, there were people from Chile, there were people from Mexico. So then the tour guide picked us up, and the tour bus was waiting outside, and then we joined the rest of the group, and then they took us to our first day of sightseeing in London. So again, all the reservations are done for you. You literally just check into the hotels. So it's a great alternative for someone that just wants everything done. Like, you don't have to worry about researching hotels, because I've made that mistake in the past where I will book something and it looks one way online, and then you get there and you're like, this is completely different, you know? Or you're researching and you just don't know the area, and you maybe book it in the wrong side of town and you didn't know. So this is a really good option where everything is set for you. All you have to do is show up on time, and you will get picked up. Yeah, that first Saturday was a travel day. We arrived to London on Sunday. Sunday was a free day. We only had a couple of free days. We had one free day in London. We had one free day in Paris, one free day in Rome, and one free day in Barcelona. And a free day is a day that there is no tour happening. It's literally a day for you to be free and you can do whatever you want. So we only had those 4 days to do whatever we wanted. That first day in London, like, we were so excited that we dropped off our bags and we went out and we literally saw all the sites that they took us to the next day. So we kind of got ahead of ourselves. But that was the day that we explored Soho on our own. We went to Kensington Palace. We found out we were only like 10 minutes away from Kensington Palace. So we just walked around the gardens. And it was a beautiful day. It was a Sunday. It was such beautiful weather. It was like the perfect 75 degrees, sunny. There were so many families out. There were like kids playing soccer in the gardens. There were people out walking their dogs. It was literally the most beautiful day in London. Like, even the people at reception were telling us like, oh, this is such a beautiful day. Enjoy your day outside. It rarely gets like that. And then literally the next day it was gloomy and it was raining. Like, it was so crazy. So then, again, because we were on a strict time schedule, like literally the tour guides would pick us up like at 8 a.m. and then we would hop on the bus. If we were staying overnight, then we didn't take our luggage with us. But travel day, then we had to bring down our luggage, obviously check out of the hotel, load the bus, and then we were off on our next destination. So because there were only those few free days, like for example, our free day in Paris, that's the day that I wanted to go to Disney. So we were able to figure it out. The metro system was so easy to maneuver. We were able to walk to the metro station by our hotel. I think it was just one transfer, and then it was a straight like 30 minutes to get to Disneyland. And literally the metro stop for Disneyland is right outside the gate. Like, it's so easy. If you want more step-by-step, like literally all you have to do is use your smartphone and enter your final destination, and your maps will give you a breakdown of what metro to take, how far it's away, what direction you're going, how many stops, like an estimate time. Like literally all you have to do is pay for your internet service. So I would highly recommend you upgrading to international data roaming while you're abroad, because the data really comes in handy. Like you are gonna need it. Just pay the extra. I think it was $30 for 2 weeks worth of unlimited data. So just pay for the unlimited data. Like you are really gonna use it. So that day at Disneyland Paris, I just bought 2 things for myself. I got these little Disneyland Paris ears. I thought they were cute because they have Chippendale. They don't really have Chippendale merch here at Disneyland, so I thought it was cute, and I just wanted something that said Paris. And then I actually got this one for my boyfriend. It's the Disneyland Paris Spirit jersey. Just says Disneyland Paris, just black and white, traditional. So we're actually gonna share this. He doesn't know, but we're gonna share it. So I'm gonna pull out my invoice. The total cost of the trip alone was $4,528. So overall, let me share the total cost, because I did end up taking $500 out in cash. That's what they recommended. Converting it to euros. You can get this directly from your bank. I got it from Bank of America. You can do it on the app. So you can just request $500 in euros, and then they'll notify you when it's ready to pick up, because you do have to go to your local branch to pick it up. So I converted $500 into euros, and I took that in cash, and I used that just for... They recommend it especially for like if you're buying things in the street, like from vendors, smaller vendors, or if you just want to buy something cash. And I did spend all of that money. And then besides that, I did take my credit card. So before I went on the trip, I had already paid it down. I think I had like $100 balance on it, because I knew that was the credit card that I wanted to take on my trip, because I had the largest balance available. And you do want to use a credit card instead of a debit card, because every time you use a debit card, you will get charged a transactional fee. So I would not recommend taking a debit card. And then if you lose it, you know, it's just going to be a big ordeal. So I would recommend taking cash and taking a credit card, because at the end of the day, if you lose the credit card, or if there's fraudulent charges, it's not going to affect the money that you have sitting in your account. So I did take my credit card, and I ended up charging $941 on it. So $941 in credit card fees. And this was stuff, again, for souvenirs, for like dinner and drinks, because again, the trip only included breakfast, and there were like only a handful of lunches and dinner. Like besides that, it was on your own to get lunch, it was on your own to get dinner, and then if you wanted to stop and get coffee, get gelato, anything, all of that is on you. So I also bought souvenirs, I bought myself stuff. And then another thing is that the travel agency also had optional packages. So like there were days where it was only like the morning was our tour guide, and then in the evenings they would offer an additional option for you to go on an event. So like for example, in Paris they had an option to go to the Moulin Rouge, but that was a separate charge. There was another option to go to the Palace of Versailles. That was another optional package. So, and I think there was one in London too, an optional cruise down the London River. I'm not exactly sure what the name of the river was, but we did that. So I 80 euros for the river cruise, and then the Moulin Rouge and Versailles were actually really expensive. It was like 180 for one and 140 for the other. So right there, those are some of the additional charges on my credit card. But then after that, my parents and I were kind of like discussing that it was kind of expensive to do the add-ons, because like Versailles, we could have gone to Versailles on our own on that free day, but we had already planned to do Disney on that free day. So we were like 180 euros, like that was a lot. Like I think the fee to go into Versailles is only like 25 euros. So really you're just paying for the convenience of somebody taking you on a bus to Versailles. But if you're down to travel and figure it out on your own, like you could take a bus or you could take the metro to Versailles. But at that point, we hadn't figured it out yet. So after the Moulin Rouge as well, the Moulin Rouge, like it was 180 euros, and I was like investigating online, but the only tickets that I found online were 225 euros. So I guess that was an okay deal. And it did come with a bottle of champagne. So I thought it was fine, but it starts stacking up. So after Paris, we decided not to do any of the optional tours in Rome. So we just ended up doing it on our own. Like we figured out what they were doing. Like, oh, they were doing like a walking tour of the fountains, the Trevi fountain. We did that on our own. Like we did not have to pay an additional 80 euros for that. So we stopped doing the additional tour options after Paris. So yeah, so the total I spent was $5,969. And again, I used my savings for this. So I actually already paid off the credit card statement. The trip was already paid off, and I guess the only money really that I'm out is the $500 that I took out of my savings. So now I'm incorporating this into my reselling challenge for the rest of the year. So I'm setting up that goal of earning those $5,969 back via reselling. This number as a motivation just to keep going and hit that goal by the end of the year so I can make the money I spent back. And then I can just keep using that money for future trips. So just let me do a quick haul of everything that I bought. First up, this sweater. This is just a crew neck sweater. It says Firenze, which I got in Florence, Italy. That was the only really clothing purchase that I made. And then I purchased a lot of things like on the street from vendors. So I got this little necklace. It's my nameplate. Just says Tania. I got this one in Rome. When we went to Innsbruck, we went to the Swarovski store and I bought this little necklace, this little infinity stone at the Swarovski store there. This was 50% off, which is why I was able to buy it, but it was just like the only really luxury item that I purchased for myself. I mean, we did go by like Louis Vuitton and Prada and all of the designer shops, but yeah, that's out of my budget. What else did I buy? Oh, I bought these little earrings. These I bought in Venice. They're glass, but they're really pretty. They're handcrafted. They're just like these little heart drop set earrings. They're so sparkly. And this was from the Murano Glass Factory. Sounds really cool. And then I got this purse, this little leather tote bag, and it has like this suede lining. It has the crossbody, and it has another little bag in here, this little pouch, and you can actually attach the crossbody here if you want to use this as a purse. So I thought it was cute. And then you can take off the crossbody too if you just want to have the little tote bag. This one I got in Italy. I don't remember how much it was. Pretty pebbled leather, so I'm happy with this one. I think it's so cute and convertible. I could use the little tote or I could use it as a crossbody. Literally all I bought were tote bags. This one I got in Innsbruck in Austria. This one I got in Italy. It has the Leaning Tower of Pisa, Venice, the Colosseum. We didn't go to Milan. And then this one I got in Barcelona. Dolly print. And then I wish I would have started buying them sooner and gotten one in each country. But I didn't buy them until we were like halfway through the circuit. I bought my first one in Austria. That concludes my trip. I'm gonna link the website down below where you can see more details of the kind of trips that they do. And yeah, if you need a recommendation, if you're really interested in purchasing one of these trips, I can actually give you the contact to my travel agent. Just message me, or you can find me on Instagram, DM me. I'm more than happy to share everything with you guys and give you my tips. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Take care and I'll see you soon. Bye.